Well, welcome to the Friday devotional. John Miller here, and because we have a storm rolling in this weekend, I thought it'd be practical in talking about storms and the purpose of storms from a biblical perspective. And interestingly enough, in Job 37, it actually talks about the fact that God has at least three purposes for storms. So as you feel whatever's going to be coming our way this weekend, and obviously it's subject to change, but if we do have a storm, you might be thinking of these kinds of things. So I want to go to Job 37, and we'll just dip into verse 5. This is where Elihu is speaking about God to Job. And let's say in verse 5, and 1 through 13 is all about storms, so you might want to read that sometime. But verse 5 starts out saying, God thunders marvelously with his voice. He does great things which we cannot comprehend. For he says to the snow, fall on the earth, and he speaks to the showers and to the downpour of his mighty rains, be strong. God seals, he brings to the standstill, stops by severe weather the hand of every man, that all men whom he has made may know his work, that is, his sovereign power and their subjection to it. And so that you can see right here, one of the reasons for mighty storms is to humble man. Then the beast, and by the way, I'm reading from the Amplified Bible here in case you like to know. Then the beast goes into his lair and remains in its hiding place. Out of its chamber comes the storm, and cold from the north wind. Ice is made by the breath of God, and the expanse of the waters is frozen. He loads the thick cloud with moisture. He disperses the cloud of his lightning. Its direction is turned around by his guidance, that it may do whatever he commands it on the face of the inhabited earth. And then here's your three reasons it actually is stated in the Bible. Whether it be for correction, or for his earth generally, or for his mercy and loving kindness, he causes it to happen. So there you see some purposes for storms to show his power and sovereignty. It is also for discipline and repentance. We certainly saw that with Jonah, when Jonah tried to get away from God by getting in the boat. And it led to confession and repentance. Whether it is for us to grow in faith. I mean, storms test and strengthen our faith, that is for sure. Especially if you're on a farm or own land, or in any situation where the power of a storm can do damage to your crops or to your house, or whatever. But it does reveal our need to trust in the Lord and his sufficiency. Like when Jesus calmed the sea for the disciples, because that the power of the ocean, and how that was a teaching lesson for the disciples. It is, of course, as judgment, as the great flood would tell us, and then also for protection and warning, because sometimes storms act as alarms. Tornadoes are coming. It pushes people away from danger, and maybe giving them a little bit more of God's perspective of how fragile our life is, and then thus pointing people to God. So in just a few minutes, there are these reasons for storms as they come into Texas and throughout a number of states this weekend, and possibly here to Tucson. So have a wonderful weekend, perhaps a wet weekend, but the Lord bless you. Bye-bye.